Hello and welcome to this year's second episode of the Redwing Roundup. I'm Ethan Ferguson here with Jack McGrath. Jack, how are we doing today?
I'm doing very well. Homecoming week just finished up, so this week has sort of been a snapback into reality with all the fun festivities that went on last week. But remember, the Titans was the theme. It was a good one. But now we just got to get back into the swing of things with some regular schoolwork without the posters lining the halls.
Yeah, speaking of getting back into the swing of things, we have opening this segment, Megan and Maeve will interview Mrs. Lauren about the Benet Theater Association.
And new this episode, a Club of the Week segment with sophomore Allison Gadritis. She'll be highlighting the debate team this episode.
And then a very popular segment on this show, we have Hot Takes with Ian and Greta, where they share all the spicy information going around on Benet.
You gotta love Hot Takes with Ian and Greta. They really get into it.
And then we will round it up with sports.
And included in sports is the interview with Will Sammons from the hockey team. He will be previewing the hockey season. We will now send it off to Megan and Maeve with their interview with Miss Lauren.
Hi, I'm Megan Sluzis.
And I'm Maeve Sheltons.
We're here today with Ms. Lauren from the Benet Theater Association, which is a new group that meets every Tuesday to learn about and practice different components of theater production.
Hi.
Hi guys, how are you?
We're good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you for asking. Thanks for having me today.
No problem.
No problem.
Okay, so I think a couple of times we've heard you guys mention that Benet Theater Association, or BTA for short, it's something you guys have wanted to start for a while now. So if that's true, what finally triggered it, or was the final scale tipper that motivated you guys to do it now?
We have been very excited about getting more and more students involved in theater at Benet. And the best way we thought to do this was to have different elements of theater totally incorporated into one group. So not just singing, not just dancing like orchestras, but really all the different facets of theater. So we have kids who are interested in, makeup, costume design, scenic design. So it really is an educational side of the theater world.
Cool.
Okay.
So I did some of the summer things, and one of the things that you guys did was improv, which I've done, and it's super fun.
Love
and
improv.
In improv, they do a lot of improv games. So which improv game is your personal favorite?
I love improv games. My favorite is a game, it's called Mr. Hit.
That's a good one.
It emphasizes the kids and, well, anybody who plays this game, not necessarily just kids. But it emphasizes not only names and recognition of your peers around you or anybody who's really playing the game, but it helps for us to be able to really know who's around at all times and just to be aware of your surroundings. It's an interesting game.
Fun.
Awesome. Okay, so in a perfect world, what are the ultimate goals for BTA and its members?
That's an awesome question. Goal-wise, we just want to get as many kids involved in performance of theater or whatever really your passions are for theater, as involved as possible in the school setting. You know, we want Benet to be like your second home, so we want your second home to have all of the elements of making it as comfortable and as awesome as it can be. So I think by us creating this program, it allows for more students to be involved in theater, and it allows for you guys just to be as engaged in the Benet community as you want to be.
Nice. I'm really excited to just start going on Tuesdays. This is very exciting. You guys are going on a trip to New York City.
We are.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that and what you guys are going to do there?
Absolutely. So we are going for 4 days. We're going Friday, January 18th through Monday, January 21st. And the nicest thing about this is that it'll be after finals, so it'll be a true vacation for all of the kids and teachers who are able to go. We will get to see several different shows while we are there and take class from folks who are very invested in the theater community in New York. So in fact, one of the classes that we will be taking is a class I'm not certain exactly what kind of a class, but something, of course, surrounding theater.
Yeah.
But it will be led by members of the cast of Come From Away, which is one of the shows that we will actually get to see while we are there.
That's so
That's
Yes,
awesome.
it'll be very
That's
entertaining.
exciting.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh yeah.
This is really fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was great.
Awesome. So this has been Megan Sluzis,
Maeve Shelton's.
and we're going to throw it over to Allison Gudritis, and she's going to do a segment about the debate club.
Thanks, Megan and Maeve. Now I'm here with Mr. Hesla, the coach of debate. Mr. Hesla, we have a few questions for you just about debate so people can get familiar with it. So how long has the club existed here?
This is a pretty new club. This is the 5th year that it's been in existence, and I'm the 3rd coach of the team.
Okay, what made you want to coach the debate team?
I think I was never part of the debate team in high school, but I was a philosophy major in college, and part of philosophy is analyzing arguments and coming up, using different theories, ethical theories, and so I was really interested in, and I've always liked discussing deep topics and having debates, and I did that a lot in college, and so it was just something I was personally interested in, and it was also something that I thought that I could use my background and my education to help with. I was really eager to do that.
So what are you hoping you will accomplish with your debaters?
I think that the skills that debate teaches are really helpful for anyone. So I hope that all the debaters get better at more comfortable public speaking, writing, logical argumentation, and being able to argue, not just be good at arguing, but also to be able to listen to what other people are saying and to be able to actually have civil disagreement, because debate teaches you to how to disagree in a civil manner, and I hope that that's a skill that they appreciate, and just also being better at researching, and really just all those skills are really, really useful.
So why do you think debate is important, like an important thing to do?
I think all the skills that debate teaches are really important life skills. The ability to reason, to argue well, to think well, to write well, to speak well, to interact with people that have different views than one's own. I think these are all really important life skills, and I think that anyone who joins debate will grow in all those areas.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hesla, for talking with us. And now I'd like to say a few things about my own personal experience with debate. So I just transferred here. I'm a sophomore, and at my old high school we didn't have any kind of debate club or team or anything like that. So when I transferred here, right when I heard about it, I knew I wanted to join right away. And it's not the kind of debating that you would think. Like, you don't just go up there and start arguing with people because, there's a certain format that you have to follow, and there's like a certain topic that's given every 2 months, so it's a lot more organized than I thought. And then you also have to make a case for pro and con arguments, so it's really helpful because I think even it helps outside of debate because it helps us to see two sides to every situation. So even if we're biased toward one thing, we can see past that and understand where the other side is coming from. And then I've also noticed that since starting, I've already become more confident and comfortable, and public speaking, I think it's a great life skill, because even beyond high school debate team, you can learn how to think on your feet and how to respond quickly and just become more informed with what's going on in our society and the things that affect our day-to-day life. So I think that even if people are a bit hesitant toward joining it and are nervous how that they won't be good at going up and speaking to people, I say go for it, because you won't regret it, because I haven't.
All right, thanks, Allison. We hope to make the Club of the Episode a recurring segment on our podcast. Now we're going to send it over to the music side. Please enjoy this song, Fever, by the 2017 Madrigal Singers.
Never know how much Can you paint without the colors of the wind? He gives me fever. With his kisses, the fever.
Thank you, and welcome back to Hot Takes. This is Greta Maris.
And this is Ian Smith.
We're here to talk a little bit about our weekend. So we had a nice long 4-day weekend with our homecoming and Columbus Day. How did your weekend go?
It went great. How was yours?
It was good. Nice and relaxing.
Yep, but back here on Tuesday.
Here we are.
And then gone again on Wednesday. What's your opinion on just having a 1-day week almost and then another day off?
Who could be a fan of that? It's just another day for homework to be piled on. Thursday, come back in full swing. It's like another Monday. It's like 2 Mondays this week. It's not the best, but it's nice that we have tomorrow off. Are you going on any college visits?
I'm not going on any college visits tomorrow. I did a couple in the past few weeks. Are you?
I'm going to go to Marquette after I work the freshman retreat, which is going to be really fun. We're going to the Abbey, getting a couple tours, having mass and stuff, so that'll be good. And then the sophomores and juniors are kind of stuck here taking the PSAT. Do you remember how that went for you?
Yeah, that ended up going pretty well. I mean, it could have been better, but it wasn't the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have a pretty bad outlook about the PSAT, but it's not terrible. You get to spend a fun day with your friends, taking a test for 3 hours.
At least you don't have to wear your uniform.
That's true. Get those nice sweatpants going. It's a good deal. All right. So we're going to hand it off to Jacob with some sports recaps. This has been Hot Takes.
Goodbye.
Welcome, everyone, to the second edition of the Benet Academy Broadcasting Club Sports Podcast. I'm Jacob Infante. My usual partner, Pat Malik, is not here, but we've still got an eventful episode here for you guys. So let's just jump right into it. Let's take a look at a couple of updates for what's going on in fall sports around Benet Academy. Starting off with the boys' football team, they are currently 5-2. They beat St. Viator 42-14 over homecoming weekend. And that game, both sides of the ball were absolutely dominant. The defense held Viator scoreless through 3 quarters, and friend of the podcast, Ben Hickey, ran for 3 touchdowns. They'll take on Marion Catholic on the road on next Friday. The girls' tennis team recently won the conference championship with Caroline Austin, Trinity Marshall, Angela Matthew, Rachel Zilligan, Caitlin Lee, Kara Hand, and Isabel Telford all winning their respective divisions, and Daniela Nenadovich finished in second in her singles division. For boys cross country, they had runners take up every spot in the top 6 in the Joe Fednick Cross Country Invitational. Our own Ian Smith finished in first place, and both the boys and the girls finished in first place in varsity, and the girls had 4 racers in the top 10. Girls volleyball recently won the St. Charles East Scholastic Cup, beating Naperville North, and they are currently on an 11-match winning streak. The boys golf team recently qualified for state, and the girls team won the regional title with the help of Notre Dame commit Lauren Boudreau, who shot a 68. The boys soccer team defeated Naperville Central 1-0 over the weekend, with C.J. Warren playing as defenseman, scoring the game-winning goal late in the game. The girls swimming team has had a bit of a downturn in recent weeks, as they haven't necessarily been playing in a lot of meets, but they do have the next meet, which is actually today, this Tuesday, in Oswego at 5 p.m. And finally, the boys hockey team, they have a red varsity team and a white varsity team. The red varsity team lost 2-4 against St. Rita, but they also won the Bell Tire Championship for the second year in a row. Speaking of hockey, we are going to turn things over to Nick Magus, who has an interview with one of the stars of the hockey team, Will Sammons. I've been Jacob Infante, and thanks for listening.
For our last segment here on this episode of Redwing Roundup, we have 4-year varsity player and current captain of the hockey team, Will Sammons here. Will, thank you for joining us.
Good to be here.
Going to give us a little preseason review of what's going on in the hockey world. So, last weekend, you guys went to Detroit. You finished 4-0-1 in that tournament, took that championship for the 4th year in a row.
Yeah.
What was working for you guys, and how does it feel to have that win kicking off your season?
Yeah, well, so as long as I've been here, that's been a tournament that we've been winning, like you said. We came in this weekend. We went straight from school on Friday after school, so it was kind of tough. Kids were showing up as we were getting on the ice, so that was kind of tough to. And that's what ended up with our tie. But from there on out, we won every game, and I think we finally started to build some chemistry on lines. Kids knew where kids were going. We were really working with each other a lot better, and we started to get a lot more discipline. We weren't going to the penalty box every other shift like that. So, when you're able to like read where your teammates are going, where your line mates are going, that's a huge advantage that we can get. So,
and I know our good friend Charlie Kamelik, the famous redhead, was diagnosed with a pretty severe concussion after a hit he took in that game. Mm-hmm. Good to have him back at school on Wednesday. What's the deal, and what's the timetable for his return?
Yeah, so something like that, minor concussion can be as long as 2 weeks, but he did not look good when he was coming off the ice, unfortunately. He was down for a while, got up and was just kind of looking around, didn't really know where he was or anything, but so that's never good to see. But he's someone who doesn't really let something like that affect him too much. He's pretty much already back to normal, but obviously, like, I'm not the one to say that, so I think within 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks at most, which I really can't see happening. I'd say 2 or 3 weeks he'll be back, and
awesome.
We'll be happy to have him.
I see him at lunch, and he's in good spirits.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's Charlie. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
But our prayers go out to him. So, split into 2 varsity teams for the first time this year, red and white.
Yep.
Was that well received by the team this year? What's the reaction been to that?
It's been kind of mixed opinions. We know those bottom 2 teams for the first couple of years are really going to be struggling. That second varsity team has to play with some of the best public school teams that we don't usually get to play, but they're going to have some good experience. And then JV kids, that's going to be almost all freshmen. They're playing in the same league that the JV team played last year, and so expectations for them are high. But being all freshmen, that's going to be tough for them. And I think as the years go on, this is going to work out well. It's going to give those kids a great route up to the top team if they were to make it. And so I really see a lot of beneficial aspects of this coming into play pretty soon.
All right, so you have a 2-goalie committee right now with AJ and Kaz. Is that the second or third year in a row it's been going on like this?
This would be the 3rd year in a row that these are our 2 goalies, yeah.
So how is the work split, and how is the starting goalie decided on a game-to-game basis?
Yeah, so for the normal game plan is they just switch off every game. Occasionally they'll split a game, one in for the first half, and then the other one comes in for the second half. But the usual game plan is just switch off every game. Our coaches will usually make that executive decision without us having too much of a say. And we can rely on both of them extremely, extremely well. They're 2 of the better goalies that we have in the state of Illinois for high school. So knowing that we have a solid goaltender in that, no matter which one of them it is, it's really reassuring. So
that's awesome. So last question we have time for today. A kid named Anthony Kloss is a sophomore who's just added to your line on the varsity roster. What kind of player is he, and what does he bring to the table for the future of Red Wing hockey?
Yeah, he's an interesting player. He came in this year, pretty much a last second decision. He played defense for the past couple of years for his club team, and he came in. His first game, we had full defensemen. We were actually down a forward, so we thought, hey, Kloss, just for at least this game, go play forward. So I took him onto my line. Not really my decision, coach's decision, but he came onto my line. We produced pretty well, and then he stayed on my line for the whole Detroit tournament. While all the other lines were getting mixed around, coaches were seeing who has chemistry. But I think right off the bat, he saw that chemistry was already there with Kloss and I, and then Coletta was on our line for that whole tournament, and then even Dylan Mahar played with us yesterday. So Kloss is he's a lot more of a laid-back player than I think I am, at least. I'm more of a gritty, kind of get into the dirty areas, whether I want to or not. Kloss he's got really good hands. He can evade that kind of scrum, those battles, and he's got probably the best shot I've seen in a kid at our age. Definitely the best shot on the team. He's already ripped 2 top shelf, and it's fun to watch. The kid's a lot of fun to play with, and got to be even more fun to watch. So I'm really excited. It's going to be a good time this year. I can't wait to see what else he's going to be able to do.
Yeah, we're also excited to see what the future holds for this young man.
Yeah.
And that will do it for this episode of Redwing Roundup. Will Sammons, once again, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick and Will. That will do it for us here at the Redwing Roundup. We remind you to follow us on social media, Instagram and Twitter, at Benet Broadcast 1. Once again, that is at Benet Broadcast 1. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and stay tuned next week because we're coming up on Halloween, and there's rumors that Benet's haunted. We will be discussing the haunting of Benet and Benet ghost stories in our next episode. So stay tuned. That will be coming out Tuesday, October 23rd. For my partner, Ethan Ferguson, I'm Jack McGrath. Thank you for joining us. This has been Redwing Roundup.